welcome to another Top Rock review. Today we are talking about the film The Drama.
The Drama.
Which stars Zendaya and Robert Pattinson.
Directed by Kristoffer Borgli, whose previous films include Dream Scenario and Sick of Myself. Is his newest feature film, and it, as mentioned, stars Zendaya and Robert Pattinson. And it's about a happily engaged couple put to the test when an unexpected turn sends their wedding week off the rails. And I guess you could say that's a very surface level idea of what happens, but this film is definitely one that I think you would enjoy if you don't know much about the plot. That's a very nice little summary of just like, yeah, it's about a couple in the week of their wedding, and then something kind of happens that throws their relationship into a bit of turmoil, and yeah, it's like definitely a film going in blind if you can.
Well, I did watch the trailer.
Oh, yeah, you did? Yeah.
And I remember, like, I don't think I paid that much attention to it, but I remember thinking like I still have no idea what this film is about after the trailer. So like maybe the trailer's okay, but you might get the wrong impression. You might expect some things that might, I don't know. I expected,
And I guess that's the greatest strength of this film is how unexpected it is with its trajectory. And I think it is the best way. When I finished watching it, I walked away and I was thinking, how do I describe this film to someone? And I go, well, it's a rom-com with, I guess, the typical rom-com narrative beats and tropes, but it's delivered in such a unique, different way. And it's not sort of like a typical topic or thing. The idea of it's still the same as a typical rom-com, but it's definitely an atypical rom-com. It's definitely not your usual type of flavor.
And we're not really getting those sort of typical rom-coms anymore anyway. They're more like maybe like straight to streaming type films. But this one was very interesting.
Very bold. Like it's got a bold sense of style. Like the editing is very like you got to kind of keep up with it a bit. Like the editing is very like But I was never really confused during it. Like it could be confusing for some, but I kind of kept up with it.
It's pretty straightforward, I would say. Yeah, it is a bit cutty. You go back and forth a lot in the film, but like I think it's relatively straightforward to follow.
It's also hilariously dark. Got a great, wicked sense of humor.
A dark comedy.
It's definitely a dark comedy, and I'm a sucker for dark comedies. Like I love me a little black comedy, you know, and it's definitely in that mold, this film.
Would you say there's any films that you think it's similar to? Like if you had to help describe it to anyone?
I mean, the director's previous film, Dream Scenario, did come to mind a bit because that film was very distinct with its sort of premise setup. And it sort of has shades of a similar style. I think the whole theme of this film about a relationship being tested was also something that was in the Dream Scenario. So I think there was a spiritual sort of thematic connection there between these two films. But they are still very much their own thing, and they do kind of focus on different things or a different setup, the intriguing setup, I guess you could say. But yeah, I guess I didn't think of anything specifically, unless you did.
I was trying to think of one because it felt very unique. I have seen the director's other film, Sick of Myself, which was a Norwegian film from 2022. It's a bit absurd, and it's about getting attention. There is some relationship aspects and sort of about like, you know, wanting to be important and
the pursuit of that?
Exactly, yeah. I think like his films definitely like, there's a lot of discussion points that you can definitely bring out afterwards.
His films have substance. Again, I haven't seen Sick of Myself.
Yeah, they do.
But I've only seen Dream Scenario. But what I already like about his work is his films do have something to say. Even though on the surface level, you could say, oh, the film's this. But you look behind it, there are themes at play here. And you can read into the films and get something out of it. You can walk away going, oh, it was about this. But then someone else could walk away from the film going, oh, it was about this. And I do love films that do have that density to them. Special shout out to Zendaya and Robert Pattinson. I think they're going through something special right now in their careers. And this is their first film of 3 this year coming out where they're both starring in it together. The other 2 being The Odyssey and Dune Part 3. So it's going to be great to see those other films with them. But I think Zendaya, last film I saw her in was Challenges. And she was brilliant in that.
Great,
and Robert Pattinson, last film I saw him in was Die My Love, with Jennifer Lawrence, and he delivered an amazing performance there. So I feel like they're both kind of, I mean, Robert Pattinson's always been trying to shake his sort of acting origins
like
in
Harry
a way.
Potter, Twilight.
Yeah, but I think he is a great actor, and his choices in films have been so bold and unique and distinct. And I think this is another great example of him picking a film, throwing himself into this performance, never saw the actor, saw the character. Zendaya was the same. She plays it very well in this film.
Yeah.
And they did have great chemistry, I thought.
Yeah, they don't miss for me. Like, I'll watch probably any film that they're both in.
Also, the supporting cast was great. I think every actor that showed up in this was brilliant. They fitted the film so well. But a special shout out I need to give to Alana Haim, who... her debut, I think, was Licorice Pizza.
Yeah.
Paul Thomas Anderson's film.
So part of the group Haim.
Yes, she's a musician first, and now she's getting into acting in a big way. Her last film, I think, was One Battle After Another. She had a small role in that. Her performance in this, I thought, is the best one I've seen her in since Licorice Pizza.
Like, her character is actually getting a lot of hate. I've seen on like Reddit and stuff like that, and I think that's just a great testament to her acting and her portrayal of the character. So I think she did a really great job, as you mentioned.
And also a little shout out to Zoe Winters, who was in Materialists last year, Celine Song's film, and she has a very small role in this, but she's a bit of a scene stealer.
Yeah.
Every time she was on screen, she was playing it so well.
Which one was Zoe Winters in this?
She was the photographer.
She's great. She was in Succession as well.
Yeah,
and she does steal the scene.
She was a bit of a scene stealer for me in this. Like, she's not in a lot, but she just
But also, like, her lines in that scene were pretty pretty fun to work with, and that's probably one of the funniest scenes. Like, got a laugh out of the audiences.
And yes, if you can see this film in the cinemas with an audience, it is one of those films that your reactions are just...
interact with the audience.
You just feel everyone around you reacting like you are to the film.
Yeah.
And those experiences I'll always get a kick out of.
Same.
Because even though you're squirming in your seat going, oh, this is so awkward, this is so weird, but the ripple effect through the audience, you feel, and like, it's a bit of sense of community. Like, you're all experiencing this together.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a film that has you laughing out loud one moment and then like going, ooh, and you kind of feel everyone going, ooh, at the same time. We'll get into some spoilers in a minute, but the film is a bit polarizing. And I think one aspect of why it's polarizing is if people are going in thinking it is a typical rom-com. And so if you go in with that mindset, people will be disappointed. They want their fluffy, nice, typical rom-com sort of vibes. And I think people would be disappointed if they're expecting that. And I can understand that, why they wouldn't like it.
I think another film that this did sort of remind me of that was marketed as a rom-com, but in my opinion wasn't, was The Materialists. I think that one was marketed as a rom-com, and people did go in watching, like, expecting to see a rom-com, and then they came out, and I don't know if that worked for the marketing and the success of The Materialists.
I think it'd be hard to sell. I mean,
exactly.
I think,
and this is kind of similar. I think it is a bit. It is a bit more drama. I mean, they have the name sort of going for it as well, but
it's in the name, people. Yes, there's
I would say The Material is a bit more of a drama than like rom-com. I would say, like, a bit of romance, but
A Materialist was more, I think, dramatic as well, but it had flashes of humor as well, and I think that's a good comp in a way where it is a unique, bold vision for a typical sort of story about love and relationships. But what I think we both find so refreshing is it's not typical. It's not going to be your typical standard fluff piece. It's like got a lot more style, and it's a bit more unique and weird, and I love that.
It's a bit more like, it goes into more sort of difficult topics about relationships, I would say. That
asking the hard questions.
Asking the hard questions, literally, that other, like, typical rom-coms don't go into, and maybe that's why we're sort of, I think that's a trend we're seeing with a lot of these, like, romance-related films these days.
The drama is a lot of fun. It's dark, and I think we'll quickly just tap into some spoilers.
Yes.
Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, but we're going to just talk about it because we want to. The big sort of, I wouldn't call it a twist, but the big sort of...
the premise of the film.
The inciting incident, the thing that kind of throws everything out of whack. Like, you start the film with, like, Robert Pattinson and Zendaya, meet cute, they've been in a relationship for 2 years, they're with their friends, they're getting ready for their wedding. and just as a conversation starter, they kind of go around the table and say some of the worst things they've ever done. And Zendaya's character just casually mentions how she almost did a school shooting.
Yes.
And at first everyone's like, huh?
Yeah.
What? Scusi? What did you just say? Zendaya, her character goes into the fact that she legit was in a very dark place in high school and almost went there. And I guess it is shocking to sort of like have someone sort of mention that.
Yeah. I mean, she didn't casually mention it. You could tell she was very uncomfortable with having to bring it up and she didn't want to. But yeah, that was basically what happened. I think, so I will ask you about this question afterwards. But like, I do also think that this topic, and it was interesting because Kristoffer is Norwegian, the director. This film is sort of more... Maybe it's a bit more sensitive to like American audiences just because of the topic of like school shootings. You know, us being from Australia and like being in Australia, I felt that maybe I was able to see the premise a bit more objectively and I wasn't as like sensitive to the topic of what this was. But I do want to ask you, like, would you still marry Zendaya after she drops some information like that?
I think the film does a good job at exploring the reactions from everyone. I think Alana Haim's character is obviously very put off by that. Yeah. She's very like, what the hell?
They're all sort of representing completely different worldviews, I would say.
Yeah, and Robert Pattinson's more questioning. For me, he's relatable because he was questioning the whole relationship.
Yes.
And I think I got attached to that more so because he was more, not about the fact that what it was, it was the fact that he kind of was going, oh my God, if she's confessed to this, I never knew this about her. What more secrets or things could she be holding? Is she an actual psycho? Like he has this little moment where he thinks about all the previous moments in the relationship and then like
if she's capable of this and also the fact that firstly it's important the fact that it never happened, but also they go into like, well, it could have easily happened if it wasn't for a lot of things, and then it's just like that whole domino effect of like snowball effect of, you know, what where they've ended up, and it really explores all of that, I think, which is
it does it well, and relevant. It does flash back to her childhood, like her teenage years. Like when she's talking about it, there's a flashback thing where you do see her going through that, and there is again a wicked sense of humor there.
Very comedic.
And again, I think it does just make it a little bit more digestible with the humor. And yes, her character did go this way, but then she did do a 180. Like her character did not go through with it. She made the right choice, and I guess it's something that she's had to live with. Yeah. And it does, I guess, you see it from her point of view as well, where she's like, I didn't want it to be my whole life defined from this horrible, dark potential choice that I was going to make. And I guess you could argue she didn't do it, but the fact that she did think about it and was close to doing it, does that make her a bad person? So the film does ask some hard questions. Exactly. And it is a relatability there where like, what would you do in that situation if your partner suddenly revealed this? And it does even go that way a little bit when Robert Pattinson's character talks to someone else and they have a completely different reaction to what he had about if their partner did that.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting to note that like he might have never found out this piece of information if they didn't sort of randomly play this game kind of thing. So it's also like makes you question like, what do you not know about your partner that could be huge and could influence
into that insecurity that I think everyone has in a relationship a bit.
Yeah,
you know?
And that's what I love about this film. It's like it really like I feel like it's personally very relatable. Like I think everyone's done shit that they're not proud of. There's a lot of it goes into things that you're ashamed of in the past, and like I think I don't know. I think I'm just one of those. I'm of the mind like I would accept it. Like, I personally would accept this piece of... I would be curious. It would make me question a few things, but I think I would still marry her at the end of the day.
I would too, if I was in Robert Pattinson's point of view. And I think his reaction is extreme, but I think that's more in character for him. He was always a little bit of a nervous, neurotic character in a way. So for him to sort of have that relationship thrown into turmoil that way, it is more in character for him. But the core theme of that is... that in relationships is like when you do you know this person anymore, and I think that's a very universal feeling. Everyone in a relationship kind of has that thought sometimes, and the film does a great job at kind of exploring that
exactly.
through a very comedic lens. Like it gets a bit crazy at the end there. The wedding happens, but obviously shit goes down. And I guess
quite funny,
And my only negative point was the whole film does a good job at like what's going to happen next, right? Like it jumps, it's like where is this going to go, and it kind of keeps you on your toes, keeps you engaged that way. But I guess the ending did leave me feeling a little flat.
Really?
I guess
I thought it was the perfect ending.
I mean, okay, I don't hate the ending. I just was a bit like, oh, I think I need to digest this a little bit more. And I think just in the moment, I'm feeling like it didn't quite hit that note that I wanted. I actually thought it was going to end with a shooting.
Oh, you thought that? Okay.
Because I thought it was going to be a very ironic, crazy, batshit sort of ending, right? And I think I was projecting that into the film when I was watching. I was like, oh, this is going to happen. And then it doesn't.
They do tease you, so they know people are thinking that.
Yeah, and I think it did tease you a bit. Like I think my mind went to that because it teased you a little bit, thinking it was going to go there. But it didn't, and I think I'm just slowly getting my head around that.
Yeah.
But again, I don't hate the ending, but it just fell a little bit there for me. But I think on rewatch, because I do want to rewatch this film again, I think it'll get a lot better when I watch it again. Just the ending alone.
Yeah. I thought the ending was perfect. I'm very glass half full. I thought it was a perfect way to start a marriage, actually, because
I love that.
You really know by the end, all the dirty laundry is aired out. And I think, look, in relationships, people are going to screw up. Like, it's just in some shape or form. It doesn't have to be in the exact same way that the characters did it. But I think what a great way to start like a marriage, like where you actually sort of just know everything that the other person has done. And, you know, like it's just, I think it's the perfect ending.
I love that interpretation, Chan. And I think a bit of a full circle moment there as well. Like the film opens up with them when they first meet and they kind of reiterate that a little bit after everything that's happened. But okay, no, I love that. I actually really love that. So I'm going to rewatch that within mind next time. Overall though, I think the film is bold, different, and it's getting some traction and attention, which is great to see.
Yeah.
And definitely check it out if you want a non-typical rom-com. Just saying, like, be prepared.
Yeah.
But it's darkly funny, very sort of engaging in a low-key way. Music was great too.
Music was great. I just think it's a great film that sparks a lot of conversation, which I love about
And
films.
I love that a film can do that. It's like engaging in a way for an audience to sort of question their own aspects of their life, but also go along with the story, get along the journey with these characters. And overall, I think I'm giving this film 4 stars.
I can't remember what I gave it on Letterboxd, but I think it was like a very high 3.5, if not 4 stars.
So what are you going to commit to in this moment?
In this moment, I'm going to commit to a high 3.5.